Hi, I'm Robert Scribner. My purpose is to help people solve their hair problems. I've been a hairdresser for 43 years and a product formulator for over 20. If you're having hairpiece or extension problems, I can help you save time, money, and frustration with my new patent-pending products, coupled with a little knowledge. Samantha is the person who modeled for my how-to video, and no one would ever guess that Samantha has alopecia universalis or that she wears hairpieces. If you want the confidence of knowing your hairpiece or extensions look natural while eliminating tangles and frazzles, let Samantha be your example and let my products and experience help you gain the confidence you deserve. Samantha, we're going to do her hairpiece with this new product that I've developed, and it's different than what you expect. Whatever you think it's going to be like, it isn't going to be like that. First, we're going to start with about 2 inches of water to the pot. So I'm going to stick my finger down in the water, and when it reaches my second knuckle, we're done. If it's too cold, it won't clean very well. If it's too hot, for synthetic hair in particular, it tends to strip. And then a tablespoon of the shampoo. And just add it to the water and swirl it in. And then we'll submerge your hairpiece.
Okay, here goes.
And just push it around and get it good and soaked.
Okay, great.
And so we're going to want to comb the product through the ends, which everybody says don't comb it, don't brush it, don't touch it, don't do anything to it.
And then so everyone at home knows this is a human hair wig.
Exactly. And it's the same thing when you're working with a synthetic as well. Same process. And very gently, it's more of a scraping type action than it is combing.
Okay.
And very, very gently start working this through. And I can
smaller
tell.
sections. Okay. So, and then starting from the top and then going to the
Well,
end.
typically you would work from the ends up. I tend to want to work the base out.
Okay.
But
and then
down
you kind
here,
of go to the ends. Okay.
And then work your way up very gently.
Okay.
And again, the conditioner is built right into the product. If it starts to hang up a little bit, just add more.
It already actually looks less dry. Like I feel like usually the water doesn't stick to it this well.
If you over rinse this, especially with synthetic hair in warm water, you'll strip the membrane right off and you won't get the benefits of it. So, this is pretty much the first time through.
Okay.
And we'll go through this one more time. Here, see what that feels like to you. And make your strokes gentle, because if you catch it, you're going to pull it out. And the object is to just ease your way through it.
Feels good.
Okay, so we'll set this off to the side for the moment, and I'll change this water out, and we'll start all over again.
Now, do you need to put any more or any less of this in if you have shorter or longer hair?
A tablespoon seems to be pretty much the experiment. I mean, for those, but the object, you want to make sure you get a good membrane on that hair shaft. That's the main thing.
So this is the coating. Okay. So in we go?
Yep, you're it. It's your turn.
All right. So kind of rinse it around first.
Sure. Whatever you're used to doing, and then just work it through.
Okay.
And it should go better this time. You can see it's sudsier. Okay, now gently, very gently. You'll find that if you roll out of it, if you hit it, hit it.
It feels really nice and slick though.
And if it starts to hang up, but it's a very gentle, slow rolling process, so that when you hit a tangle, you can stop. What I've noticed, people tend to go whipping through it, and then they hit a tangle and lock it before they can get out of it.
It feels different than it's felt before. It feels nice and slick and yeah.
And then do the base of it, and dip it in water because you're trying to load it. So the conditioner is in the water. So keep loading it.
Okay.
There. And if that comb starts,
it's not like you can have too much stuff in it.
No, no, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Because usually for the first time around, it takes about 2 loadings to really get that fish scale layer filled in.
Okay.
And especially if there's other stuff on it.
Sure.
When the
I tend to use the same product every time, so I'm sure it probably builds up.
Well, I don't know that it builds, but the first time around, what has stuck to your hair mixes with my stuff and you have a cocktail.
Oh,
the object is to get it off of the hair and then load it with my stuff exclusively.
Gotcha.
And you can feel the difference.
Yeah, it's very slick.
Okay, so let's start the rinsing process here.
Can I take this out then? Okay.
Now, for rinsing, we're going to rinse this with cold water. The warmer the water, the more it's going to strip it. And I'm going to fill the pot.
Okay.
Because I want plenty of clean water to rinse this out with. And we'll probably rinse it twice.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And you know how to rinse. But if it feels like it's getting rough, you can feel the smoothness. When you've gotten too much off, you'll feel how rough it is. Literally with your hands. You can feel how slick it is now.
Yeah.
Then you can see what's come out of it.
Sure. Yeah, that feels great.
Okay, let's do it one more time.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are back for the second rinse. Again, cold water.
Okay.
And away you go.
Okay. Definitely chilly. Okay.
Does it feel nice and slick?
It does. A little tape piece. I know that's the top.
Yeah.
Is that good or more?
Yes,
That's
should do
good.
it. Yeah, because the water's looking very clean, and that's how we can tell.
Okay. Okay.
So roll out. And then we'll comb the spray through it.
Okay.
Now this spray, you can use this on the hairpiece when it's wet, like we're going to do now.
Okay.
And when this is dry, if you feel any catching, you can spray it on after the fact.
Okay.
And work it back into the hair shaft, and it'll keep layering it on until there are no tangles, especially underneath the back of the
Now,
neck.
can you put too much on ever?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
And
Not
what is
my
this
experience.
called?
This is a,
Does it have a name?
I'm calling it a smoothing detangling enhancer.
Okay.
Because the detangling, most of it is done with the shampoo, and then this just adds more to it. This particular iteration also gives it lots of extra body for those that are trying to get the fullness. And the memory, once it's in, you want it to stay in.
Feels nice and slick and
no tangles. So here we finished with the cleansing process. We put some of the spray on it to make sure it's tangle free, as you can see. And now we're going to dry this. There are lots of ways to do this. I prefer to use a comb. It's what I've used for years and years and years. But the bottom line is to get the lift on the top and the fullness through this parietal area, you want to hold the hair straight up, and there's a body builder in the product. Heat the base, and then hold it for a count of 1, 2, 3 before you drop it, because it sets while it's cooling. If you drop it hot, it's going to flatten out and it'll set that way. Just like ironing your pants and you throw well, people don't iron these days, so there's no point. Okay, now I'm going to hold this 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, it stands up.
great.
For the bangs, if you're trying to get a little more lift underneath, then you lift it up at the base, roll it, because that gets a curl going, and then heat underneath it until it's dry, and then hold it till it cools, and when you slide out of it, you get the lift at the base, and then the ends will come around.
Okay.
And then you can use a round brush to finish the ends off if you want more. So again, it's up, 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 up. Force it back, heat the base, leave the ends damp, let it cool. That gives you the lift, and then you direct the end.
Okay.
And another way to do that on yourself is just go in with your finger, lift it, and just let it wrap around your finger. Get up underneath it. You can tell how much heat you're putting on it because your finger will tell you. And then let it cool. And then direct the end. Now another thing, when you're trying to get these ends to go back, for example, instead of trying to force them to go, because as soon as you grab it and hook it, you're pulling it, and you pull it straight. Just let the air do the bending for you. Let the brush be something to bend the hair around. And let the air do the work. See that? And then very gently just slide through it. Relax a little bit, let it set.
So much better.
Now the thing about the spray, which is another point to make, is that this is great for flat ironing because the steam is what carries the heat away so it doesn't burn the hair, and it's the moisture, the water in here that changes.
It's almost like those protective spray things all in one.
But there's no alcohol. It's all water-based. Which
is great because alcohol dries, right?
Okay. It's harder and less damages. It denatures the hair is the better way to put it. Put some of this on, out to the ends where they need it the most. I tend to come in with a comb because it lines the hair up and then come off with the iron. And the steam is just...
Because I always thought that was bad when you hear that, but that's better.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a steam iron.
Yeah.
That light. Let's see if feel that.
Oh, it's good. I think it's going to take my brain some adjusting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very different.
To know, like, oh wait, you put more on it? Like, not less? Yeah, that feels so good.
And it will just get better.
That feels really good. It's like super smooth. Yeah. And it feels like the hair feels flatter, I guess. Like.
Well, it's settling into
Yeah,
itself.
not as coarse. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Such a good sport about all this.
Thank you. Do us both some good.